Hello students! In the previous video, we learned about the stakeholders of forests and also what locals need from these forests. We know that before independence, the locals were free to use forest resources. But after British took over access to the forest resources, they were restricted to the forest dwellers. After independence, the government took over these forest lands by forming forest departments to regulate and maintain them. But still, the interest of people staying in the forest were ignored. A few cultivation practices disturbed the whole biodiversity of the area. So let us see about forest department in little detail. We know that since the arrival of Britishers, the forests have been cleared for large-scale projects like making railways or for various construction activities. In fact, even after British rule, the Forest Department of India, when took over these lands, nothing much changed. They ignored local knowledge and the need to conserve these resources. They cleared large forest land and planted them with similar kinds of beneficial plants. The cleared forests were replaced by planting eucalyptus trees, pine trees, or teak trees, a practice called monoculture. Growing only a single kind of plant or crop species over a large region is called monoculture. Yes. So, what's the problem with this? Monocultures destroy a large amount of biodiversity in the area. And we already saw that diversity maintains the ecological balance. They are interlinked. Not only this, the varied needs of local people like leaves for fodder, herbs for medicine, fruits and nuts for food can no longer be met by such monoculture forest lands. In fact, such plantations are only useful or beneficial to industrialists and forest departments. And why is it so? Correct. It is because they generate a lot of revenue for them. Thus, these monocultures were encouraged by government officials and kept on being cultivated. None of them is bothered by how optimal these forests are with respect to biodiversity. They are only interested in the profits that are generated from these forest resources. Now, since we talked about one of the two beneficiaries, let us look at the other, the industrialists. So, what we saw was the government. Now, think yourself as an industry owner. For you, the forest would be merely a source of raw material for your factories, isn't it? Yes. Let me explain it to you by an example. Say you are in a furniture business. For this business to run, you require a lot of timber, that is wood. As you know, timber most commonly refers to the woods of trees that can or will be used for building materials. Now, what you are going to do is go to the forest, slay the trees, and grow a monoculture of timber yielding trees. Again, once this is over, you will try to get them from the other forest areas. And the cycle continues. So, this is how you devastate thousands of acres of forest land and its valuable biodiversity. And this exactly same is the industrialist mentality that care about their profits particularly and not about the forest. Also, the big interest groups lobby the government for access to these raw materials at very low rates. So the end result is that they get exploited at a faster rate than they are conserved. Locals or conservationists don't have these political powers or lobbies, so they lose the battle against them. Plainly speaking, industrialists are not interested in sustainability of the forest in one particular area. And since these industrialists have a greater reach than local people, nothing can be done to stop them from exploiting the resources. Lastly, we come to the nature and wildlife enthusiasts who are in no way dependent on the forest, but who may have a considerable stake in the management. A conservationist is either a person or an institution that protects and preserves natural habitats such as forests, parks, or other similar areas. They ensure that landowners follow government regularized standards. Many national and international institutions work for conservation and sustainable management of resources. They also provide consultations to the farmers and landowners to improve the fertility and utility of their lands. The conservationists initially were only bothered for the large animals like lions, tigers, elephants, and rhinoceros. But lately, they recognize the need to preserve and conserve forests as a whole and not just the form of biodiversity. But apart from these conservationists, shouldn't we also recognize that locals form a part of forest system? There have been enough instances of local people working traditionally and very effectively for the conservation of these forests. How? We will see in our next video.